Welcome to the Online Digital Marketing Podcast. We'll be discussing marketing strategies, trends, and tips that will help your business succeed in the digital age. Every episode, we'll be interviewing industry professionals and providing valuable insights on how to leverage digital tools for maximum engagement and ROI. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest trends in online marketing.
Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving deep into social media marketing today, and I mean really getting into it.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're talking going way beyond just knowing the basics. This is about really using social media to actually help your business grow.
Exactly. And I think what's so important is it's not just about sounding impressive, right?
Totally.
It's about getting those practical skills that you can actually implement.
So true.
Right away.
Okay, so let's start with the big question. Social media marketing, we hear it all the time.
Everywhere.
But what does it really mean? And I don't mean just posting a picture of your cat,
Right. It's not just about being present.
Right.
It's about being strategic about it.
Okay, I like that.
It's about understanding how each platform is like a different tool.
Okay.
And you have to know how to use each tool for its specific purpose, right?
That's such a good point.
So it's not enough just to kind of post randomly.
Right.
You have to have a strategy.
You need a plan.
You have to know your audience and what their goals are.
And I think that's something our source really dives into is the why, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why even bother with all of this? So in your view, why does social media marketing matter so much for businesses today?
Well, I think the document we have here, it really gets into the nitty-gritty of why it matters. And it boils it down to 8 key benefits.
Okay.
Which is amazing. And they all have a real impact on your bottom line.
That's what we care about.
Right. So for example, right, we always hear social media is cheaper than traditional advertising.
Right.
Okay. But it's not really just about being cheaper, right?
Right.
It's about what that affordability does for businesses, especially smaller businesses.
Yeah, totally.
It levels the playing field, so you don't have to have $1 million budget to reach your target audience.
It's like you're saying, it's not just about saving money.
Yeah.
It's about being able to compete
Exactly.
with those bigger companies.
Exactly. Without, like you said, breaking the bank.
Love it, love it.
Right.
What else stood out to you from the document?
So this one is really interesting, especially because, you love efficiency.
Yes.
The idea of targeted advertising, right?
Okay.
This is huge. And it's so much more than just basic demographics now.
Right, right.
Think about it, right? Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, you can actually target people based on what they're interested in.
Wow. That's amazing.
Based on their behaviors.
Okay, so instead of just, again, shouting into the void,
Exactly.
you can have a one-on-one conversation with someone who actually cares
Right.
about what you have to say.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. So it's like you're saying social media can actually give you kind of a secret advantage over your competitors.
You could put it that way, yeah.
Okay.
It's like having a backstage pass to what your competitors are doing.
Right. Okay.
You could see what's working for them.
I see.
You can see what's not working, what's resonating, what's not resonating.
Okay, that's amazing.
And you can use those insights to inform your own strategy.
It's like having a secret weapon or something.
Great.
Wow. Okay, but it's not all about outsmarting the competition, right? I mean, the document also talks about this idea of building a community and actual trust with your audience. What's that all about?
Right. And that's a really important point because it's not just about getting those likes or the views.
No, right.
It's about fostering these genuine connections with people.
I see. Okay. So it seems like it's about more than just getting people to see your stuff.
Yeah. It's about going deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's about actually building those relationships with people.
Okay. Yeah.
Making them feel like they're a part of something.
So it's about building a community around what you do.
Exactly. And turning those customers into advocates for your brand.
Oh, that's interesting because if you have people who actually care about what you're doing, they're going to go out and tell other people about it.
Exactly. And that's way more powerful than any ad campaign, right?
That's true. People trust recommendations from their friends more than some random ad they see online.
Right. It's think about it. If your friend tells you about this amazing new restaurant, you're way more likely to try it.
Oh, totally.
Than if you just saw an ad for it.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've convinced me Social media marketing is essential. But how do we actually do it right? Where do we even begin?
Well, the document lays out 7 key strategies for effective social media marketing.
Okay, let's hear them.
And, I mean, it might sound obvious, but the first one is knowing your audience.
Okay, that makes sense. But I feel like there's got to be more to it than just knowing, like, their age range and location.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just scratching the surface.
Okay, so how do we really get to know our audience?
You have to really dig deep and try to understand their motivations, their pain points. Like, what are their aspirations? What are they, like, what keeps them up at night?
Wow. Okay, so it's like you're saying we need to really get inside their heads.
Yeah, exactly. Remember we were talking about targeted advertising before?
Right.
You can't really do that effectively unless you know who you're trying to reach.
You need to know what makes them tick.
Right. It's about speaking their language,
Okay.
connecting with them on a deeper level.
So once we know who we're talking to, what's next?
Then it's all about the content.
Okay, so what kind of content are we talking about here?
It can't just be any content. It has to be high quality.
High quality content.
Content that provides actual value to your audience.
Because what's the point of having a conversation if you've got nothing interesting to say?
Exactly. You got it.
So what does high quality content even look like when it comes to social media?
That's the thing. It's going to look different for every audience.
Okay.
You have to know what your audience finds valuable.
Okay, so how do we figure that out?
Think about it. Are they looking for, like, educational content? Do they want inspiration? Maybe they just want to be entertained, you know?
I see. Okay.
The key is to figure out what resonates with them, what makes them want to stick around and hear more from you.
So it's not just about being flashy or following the latest trends.
No, not at all.
It's about providing something of substance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Something that people will actually find useful.
100%, and that keeps them coming back for more.
So we've got our audience figured out. We're putting out awesome content. What's next? So we're creating awesome content that really provides value. What's the next step to make sure it doesn't just disappear into the void?
This is where engagement comes in. You know, it's got to be a two-way street.
Okay, I like that. What do you mean by a two-way street?
Think of it like, you know, going to a networking event or something.
Okay.
You wouldn't just show up and then stand in the corner by yourself, right?
Definitely not. I'd be like handing out business cards left and right, talking to everyone I could.
Exactly. You got to be present. You got to be responsive. You got to actually engage with people.
So how do we translate that to, like, the online world of social media?
Basically, you've got to be an active participant in the conversation.
Okay.
So, like, respond to those comments, you know,
Yeah.
Answer people's questions, show them that you're listening and that you care.
Because everyone wants to feel seen and heard, right?
Exactly. It all goes back to building those relationships like we were talking about before.
It's all connected.
Right. Because when people feel like they matter to you,
Yeah.
they're more likely to stick around and, you know, become loyal customers.
That makes sense. So we're creating great content. We're engaging with our audience. What else is there?
We can't forget about paid advertising.
Well, right. Because sometimes you got to spend money to make money, as they say.
Sometimes. Yeah. And we touched on this a little earlier with the whole targeted advertising thing.
Right, right.
But this is about taking it a step further.
Okay, so how do we take it to that next level?
It's all about being strategic with your spending.
Yes.
Right? Like figuring out which platforms are going to give you the most bang for your buck.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
So maybe Facebook is great for a really broad reach,
Yeah.
you know, casting a wide net.
Right.
But then you might use Instagram for something way more targeted, right?
And Instagram is all about the visuals.
Exactly.
Mm.
And, you know, people are really engaged with those interests in communities on there.
It's about picking the right tool for the job.
100%.
And then once we've got all this stuff running, how do we even know if it's working?
Data. Data is your best friend.
Okay, but there's so much of it out there, it's overwhelming.
I know, right? It's like drinking from a fire hose sometimes. But that's why we got to track the right metrics.
Okay, so what should we be paying attention to?
Engagement, for sure. How much are people interacting with your stuff? Reach, how many people are even seeing it? And then, of course, conversions, right? Are those followers turning into actual paying customers?
So it's all about looking at the data and figuring what's working and what's not.
Exactly. And then using that information to adjust your strategy as you go.
So you got to be willing to adapt and, like, not be afraid to experiment.
Totally. You hit the nail on the head.
Because social media is constantly changing, right?
Constantly. What works today might not work tomorrow, so you got to be ready to evolve with it.
Well, you have given me so much to think about today. I feel like I could talk about this stuff for hours.
Me too.
But unfortunately, we are just about out of time. So for our listeners who, like me, are feeling super inspired and ready to, like, take their social media to the next level, what's one last thought-provoking question they should be asking themselves?
That's a good one. I think it all comes down to this. What's next?
What's next? Okay, I like that.
We've covered some essential strategies, right? Things that are working right now.
Right.
But social media is always evolving. So what trends do you see coming down the pipeline? What skills are you going to need to stay ahead of the curve? Because the name of the game is staying ahead of the curve.
So true. Because in the world of social media, the only constant is change.
100%.
And those who can embrace that change, they're the ones who are going to win. Well, folks, there you have it. Social Media Marketing 101. We've covered a ton of information today, but hopefully you're walking away feeling energized, informed, and ready to take your online presence to a whole new level. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
Ready to take your online business to the next level? Subscribe to our digital marketing podcast and then join our Accountability for Success Mastermind. With expert advice from industry leaders, you'll gain knowledge and insights that will help you succeed in today's digital marketing world. From social media strategies to search engine optimization, we have all the tools you need. Learn from successful entrepreneurs and take control of your online success. Join the Accountability for Success Mastermind now at bit.ly/AFSM podcast.